Well, hey, Keeney coming to you with another pro tip. This one is the fast, cheap, easy, all the good words way to figure out if you might need a new engine. Now, one caveat, if your engine's like making a whole bunch of noise and shaking the whole vehicle and like spitting parts out on the ground, like underneath of it as you drive along, newsflash, you probably need an engine. In the other case, when it's not doing all that craziness and you might have some lighter symptoms, this is a great solution to figure that out. For example, this particular car that we're getting ready to look at for all this stuff here, had just sent, it had check engine light on and it had codes for cam phaser actuation. So it just wouldn't actuate the cam phasers the way it's supposed to. Suspected that the phasers were getting blocked up by debris and whatever else rolling around the engine. And so if you have something like that where the car drives, but maybe just has some sort of issue, but like it runs and drives, this is a good solution for that. You just take your oil filter and you cut it off or cut the top off of it, pull it all apart and look at it. Let's see what we got going on over here. And we'll get the camera adjusted. So this is what the oil filter looked like. Well, it had this piece on top of it like that, and then some stuff's in it that all comes out of it. But anyway, this is the filter media that we cut out of it and then laid out across the bench here. That's a little old tool there to cut the oil filter, so you can imagine it goes the other way, but it's still full of a bit of oil. You just do that little thing, and it'll cut her up for you. You can pull this thing apart. In any case, let me get my little light here. A couple things we want to look for is a lot of debris and such build up. So you can see in these pleats, you can actually see some solid debris matter building up. And if I do this right while trying to hold this camera and whatnot, which probably ain't gonna work very well. Hey, the light does stick to it. That's cool. Even if you just take like a screwdriver here and scrape along, you can see how much buildup of stuffs is in all these pleats and whatnot. So a whole bunch of stuff there, but also if you look close enough, you'll see some shiny stuff in here. It looks like metal flake. Some people call it a disco party. A little difficult to see on this one. There's some over there. If I get the light just right. Anyway, it's hard to see on camera, but there's some glittery stuff in there. But on the oil that come out of this filter too, we can see it in there. So all of this over here, it looks like speckling stuff. That is actually solid matter and barren matter and such. And then if we go to the actual oil, you can see some flakes and glitter stuff in it. Let me mix that up a little bit because it's been sitting for a little while. But if I kind of mix that up a little bit, we'll see if we can't get it to pop in the light. There we go. Yeah, you can see her glistening up. All those little sparkles that look like stars way off in the distance, that's all metal stuff that's coming from the inside of the engine. So, with that, your pro tip for the day. If you got an engine that, ain't like actually spitting parts out of it on the ground or on the side of it, a cheap solution to figure out how bad it might actually be without taking a whole bunch of stuff in the engine apart is take your oil filter off, cut it up using one of these tools. Like you can buy these anywhere on the Amazons or whatever, and then just lay this filter out on like we did here. Look, a little bit of oil that comes out on like I did, like a paper plate. She's got a bunch of glittery stuff in it and a bunch of heavy residue like we got. You need an engine, very likely. The last thing I'll tell you, in case you don't know, I'll try to spin you around so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So, oil filter housing like this. The way most of these oil filters work is the oil is filtered from the outer radius to the inner radius. And so that means this is the piece that kind of goes in here like this. That means dirty oil flows in from the outside and clean oil flows out from the inside on most filters that I'm aware of. And so I tell you that to tell you this, because when you get this, the actual filter media, when you take it out of the filter, a lot of times it will look like that. It will look like a big circle. And so we want to make sure not to mix it up. The outside of the circle is going to be the dirty side. The inside of the circle should be the clean side. And I can probably bring this up to the camera. The inside of this is pretty clean. And if I do it the other way, this is the dirty side. You can see all the junk in it. And so on this filter in particular, the dirty side of the filter is the outer radius. The clean side of the filter is the inner radius. So you know what side to look at when you're doing your inspection. That's all I got. I hope it was helpful. I'll catch y'all in the next video.